One investigation that's getting dropped in a documentary on Channel 4 tonight, and they are claiming that the mystery hard drive of pictures found in Christian Brueckner's lair, they're going to reveal images that have led to the cops concluding that Madeleine is unalive, saying that the German cops found sick images, kids' swimsuits, masks, and guns among the evidence. So this is coming out tonight at 9 p.m. here in the UK. Channel 4 is laying bare the haul found in a German police search. Should be fascinating. I've got, I think we're live tonight. We've got Kevin Annette back. We've got Lynn's Warriors, but I'm going to be watching that after this, and we've got some McCann guests lined up for tomorrow. So this disturbing evidence shows Christian B's obsession with young kids. Masks, chemicals, and guns. There was a hard drive of pictures which German investigators continue to keep secret that is believed to indicate why they are sure Madeleine is unalive. Many of the newly uncovered evidence was found by chance at a disused factory Christian bought for £20,000 in 2008, a year after Madeleine had vanished. Local cops then discovered Christian's dead dog, but underneath it was a wallet with 6 USB sticks and 2 memory cards. They contained highly disturbing material, and 100 cops launched a full search of the compound in central Germany. They found stories by Christian showing his obsession with snatching children. He describes drugging a mum and a daughter outside a preschool and SAing a blonde girl aged 4. There were also records of horrifying Skype chats with other PDFs, telling one he wanted to capture something small and use it for days. Images are also said to have been linked to Christian with the CA of kids, let's say. Police found a case with pictures of girls aged 4 and 5. There were also more than 75 kids' swimming costumes, plus toys and small bikes. 3 black market guns and ammunition were discovered, and a mask was also found with creepy mock-up pictures of Christian. Meanwhile, a sat-nav showed his movements in the Algarve in the years after Maddie disappeared. A weird nude selfie links him directly to the dam, a key location 35 miles from where she vanished in Prat-de-Luz. Officers also tracked down an insurance claim signed by Christian, showing he had a crash at a festival where he allegedly told a pal Madeleine did not scream. Within months of the search, Brueckner had been convicted of CA, but it was another year before an associate tipped off the cops about his potential link to Maddie, and his lawyers have failed to respond to requests for comment. So, according to The Sun, which has done this investigation, this proves for the first time that Christian was at a festival in April 2008 when he allegedly all but confessed to killing Maddie. Witness HB claims he told the girl, didn't scream, but credibility questions have been raised. The insurance document filled in and signed by Christian shows that he crashed his motorhome at the festival in Spain. Creepy photos show Christian at a key location of interest for Maddie investigators. In some, he is seen modeling a mask and even posing naked at the dam 35 miles away from which was searched in 2023. And sat-nav found by officers shows his pattern of movements around the site in the years after Maddie vanished. Police are in possession of a hard drive of images which are found hidden in his lair. And these photos taken in Portugal are said to be crucial in persuading investigators that Maddie died shortly after her disappearance in May 2007. Other vital information was found on a laptop handed to the police. So cops found a Jaguar car that matched Brueckner's motor in Germany. Pictures show bottles of substances inside. Officers destroyed them without testing, but speculate that kidnap chemicals, chloroform, or ether could have been in the haul. And in his stories, he fantasized about kidnapping a kid using ether. A metal suitcase was discovered during the police search in 2016, containing chilling photos of young girls. There was also a list of phone numbers at the abandoned factory. An address book was also found separately nearby. And he was convicted of an unconnected CA allegation within months. Masks, unlicensed guns and ammunition, children's toys and bikes were found at Childless Christians Bolt Hall in central Germany. There were also 75 youngsters' swimming costumes uncovered in a 100-officer search of his compound, which came after disturbing images were found on data storage buried underneath his dead dog. Oh, he's a scary guy, isn't he? So I know periodically the Christian B story bursts into the news, and many people are skeptical. We've seen this come out periodically, but it is a fascinating story because I interviewed John Clark, who wrote the book My Search for Maddie, and he documented all of the PDFs that were in Portugal, and it was absolutely terrifying. He documented the activities of Christian B. I mean, this guy did not discriminate. He would break into a granny's house. She'd wake up in the night and he'd be stood there with a mask on, like something out of a horror movie, and he'd R-word the granny. And he was equally into kids. He did not discriminate. He was just an absolute monster. So, yeah, I got booted off the stream again myself, my own stream. Thanks, YouTube. So I'd be interested to see what this Channel 4 program says tonight, just from, the insight it gives into the life of Christian B. I'm not saying that Christian B has snatched Maddie. I have no idea what's happened with Maddie. I think it was David Icke was the first person that we interviewed about Madeleine McCann, and David Icke was convinced that Maddie had been snatched by a ring and that she was no longer alive. I think that was 6-7 years ago when we interviewed David about that. Put a 1 in the chat if you would like me to repost what David Icke told us, his theory of Madeleine McCann. And if you do get booted off the stream, just click the channel icon and it will get you right back on. Yeah, it's happening to us. It's happening to Kirby Summers. It all started since we started covering Virginia. And tonight, well, we've got a hell of a lineup for the rest of the day, actually. We have got... Hey, Ron, heavy breathing.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I'm here. This is crazy. Do you not think all of the timing of everything that's happened over the last few months is just a little bit crazy? Like, everything.
It seems it's all coming together, whether it's Julia's story, whether it's Christian B, whether it's Katie Hopkins weighing in, saying it's got creepy Epstein vibes.
Yeah.
It just seems it may possibly be coming to a head somehow, even though the bloody cops keep getting authorized huge sums of money to keep it all going.
Well, this is it. They just got awarded more money, right? And it seems that this final injection of cash is what's needed to finally get some evidence. I mean, it just seems outrageous that we're back here with Christian. I'm pretty sure that I did a show where they said that there was absolutely no evidence and the charges had been like there was nothing that they could do to prosecute him. But hey, listen, if they've found this and this is the real deal, what do you think the dogs are picking up on then? The sniffer dogs.
So when this Christian B things periodically bursts into the news, the media all over the world in lockstep pretty much announce, yeah, he's done it. There's new evidence. And then when all of the researchers analyze the evidence, there's nothing actually linking him properly 100% to it. I think Sonia Poulton's done a lot of excellent work on this, and she's really discredited the Christian B theory. But I do think he is a fascinating character in a sense that he needs to be looked at to shine a light on the bizarre behavior of this
Oh yeah,
monster.
yeah,
Because
100%.
you can't pigeonhole him into any category of S offender. He was just all over the place.
There's one S that he reminds me of. Savile. The
Well,
Savile offender. An opportunistic who doesn't care about anyone or age group or anything like that. He's just a horrible, twisted man.
yeah, his the age and of his victims, there was a wide variety with Savile as there is with Christian. But Savile was more in plain sight.
Yeah.
Christian, some grandmother will wake up in the middle of the night and there'll just be a guy in the corner of her bedroom with a mask on who looks like the devil. And next thing she's getting R-worded.
Well, I think that just comes down to accessibility, right? Savile had access in plain sight, whereas Christian had to do the more traditional breaking and entering, lurking. It's so messed up, man. It really is.
I can't believe he's about to get released.
Right? Right?
Insane, isn't it?
It's bonkers. So we just need to see what comes from
bonkers.
this now.
Yeah.
We really, really do. But just, I mean, when was the anniversary of her abduction? It was like 3 days ago.
Yeah, it was close. Wasn't there another vigil as well?
Possibly. Honestly, it's been 100 miles an hour this week. I need to go and double check on it all, but this is massive. And we just now need to see how speedy they're going to be with more updates on this. Because is it going to fade away and then we'll get another update in like 2-3 months and then it will just slowly fizzle out again? There's no denying they can't take back what they've said they've found now. Okay. Like, it's not like it's a theory or anything like that. Hang on, that's my coffee arriving. They can't take back that they found this now, so something has to come from it.
Well, they're being very cryptic. They're being very cryptic about what this bombshell evidence is. That's proved to the German police, is the words that the Sun's using, that Christian has done this. So, I'm very curious as to what's going to be revealed in this documentary that's coming out tonight at 9 p.m. I've got Kevin Annette coming back at 9, so I'll have to watch it after that.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to come out in this. And again, it's all just timing, innit? Anniversary, documentary, more funding, breakthrough evidence. It's just odd. Hang on 1 second. I'm just checking something, Sean.
Yeah, so viewers, I was going to launch the T-Bone podcast tonight, probably after Kevin Annette, but that would make it about 11 p.m. And it's 3 hours long. So I'm thinking maybe while a lot of people are tuned in right now, I should release it now. So put a 1 in the chat, viewers, if you'd like me to release the 3-hour podcast with T-Bone now after this broadcast.
That's actually not a bad idea.
That'll give people a chance to watch it throughout the day here today. And I know people have been waiting for this because T-Bone was one of the first people we ever wrote about 20 years ago. All right, I'm going to reset it then. I'm going to reset it for 5 minutes time. Me and Ronald will discuss Brueckner and Maddie for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, 100%.
And then I'll unleash the T-Bone podcast. Let me just connect it to this video. Customization, redirect. Right, there we go. 1:15 p.m., 5 minutes time. So yes, if you've just tuned in, folks, it's massive headline news here in the UK. The Mail has reported disturbing hard drive found buried in McCann suspect's abandoned lair, containing clues that the 3-year-old is unalive. Disturbing clues allegedly uncovered have made prosecutors sure that Madeleine is dead. See how certain they are terming this. A bombshell cache of horrifying documents, pictures, swimming costumes, toys were uncovered at a former box making factory he bought in 2008, a year after Maddie was last seen. Hard drive of images the police are said to have kept secret. But these images are reportedly believed to uphold investigators' long-held belief that Madeleine was unalived. And they've also found an insurance document that corroborates an informant's account that Christian B allegedly confessed to her murder in Spain in 2008. And people are interested in Christian B's backstory. There's a book by John Clark, My Search for Maddie, and it was his book that just blew my mind. That absolutely just the method of operations of Christian B. Nobody would have ever have took a child up to holiday in that part of Portugal, knowing the network of PDFs that were seeking refuge from other countries because the laws were so lax in Portugal. And it was David Icke who said to us that he believes that she was snatched into a network and that she's dead. What's John Wedge's theory? Does he believe that the network theory, or?
Well, I know he believes that Maddie's no longer here, and I honestly think he believes she ended up in the ocean, and was put out at sea. I can't remember what his theory was about who was behind it. I'm pretty sure he's sticking with the dogs, and his theory is usually the simplest one, And if the dogs
Yeah,
picked up the smell, and it was the family who had access to the car, it kind of makes this whole theory fall apart. In fact,
yep,
these two theories collide and null and void each other. That's the thing.
right, right.
And it almost, right, I just feel like it's another headline battle here. But why? Anyway, listen, Ron's completely spiraling, trying to figure out what's going on here. Yeah. So yeah,
What's
anyway,
what
yeah. So
what what's your theory from all the people that we've interviewed then?
what's my theory? Well, I can hard tell you one single theory. I've got a theory for multiple outcomes. Um, but I genuinely think that the McCann story is so much bigger than just missing Madeleine. And I don't think we'll ever really know the true extent of it all. But there's too much that we can't ignore that's been discovered from outside the traditional McCann case. And this discovery of all of these new bits of evidence. How, I mean, if they found hard drives that contain evidence that Maddie's no longer here, that would lead you to think that we're talking about photos or videos of an unaliving, right? That's pretty concrete. That's pretty concrete. But no one is corroborating anything. They were just getting a headline that says, "Oh, it could be." You know, they found it. Nobody's bothered to look at it yet and confirm anything. Do you see what I mean? Uh, it's just so odd, and I don't understand the amount of money that's been spent. I will say this: if this all comes out over the next couple of days as rock solid proof evidence, uh, at least I don't even know how to finish that sentence, Sean. I'm so confused, and I just hope that Madeleine gets some form of freaking resting in peace if that's the case.
Yeah, indeed. Hopefully it does get resolved this year. And a few people have put questions in the chat. Yeah, so we have reached out to Bernd, and we are trying to get him on. I've also reached out to a few other McCann guests, and it looks like we may have some people on tomorrow who've done a lot of research on this case. One we've had on the channel before, and one we've not had the channel before. Grace, no, they've not found Maddie, but there's a documentary coming out on Channel 4 tonight at 9 o'clock that's claiming to have some bombshell evidence that's convinced the German police that Maddie is unalived. And a lot of pictures have been released across the mainstream media today of things seized. So put a 1 in the chat, viewers, if you want me to show you some of those pictures. And
just give me 2 seconds, Sean. I just need to go and deal with something. I'll be 2 minutes.
Put a 2 in the chat if you think those pictures are a bit creepy and you don't want to see them. Looks like everyone does want to see them. All right, so here we go. Here's Christian B's compound. Let's see. That's the abandoned factory owned by Christian B, where German police search for the evidence. Look at that with the mattress. You can imagine what's happened there, even if it didn't involve Maddie. This guy was an absolute sicko. So, see there, German cops believe the evidence suggests that Maddie is no longer alive. And let's see. There's the gun. 3 black market unregistered guns with ammo were found. This is the insurance thing showing that he was near a location where he supposedly said to a witness that he'd done it. Weird image of him placing him at the dam, which was searched. So here's the hard drive, laptop. There's this Jaguar car and chemicals. And they believe some of these chemicals were to put people to sleep, such as ether. Look how weird the background is. Like the graffiti and stuff. Strange things on the wall. Smiley faces. Officers destroyed chemicals found without testing them. What absolute idiots. But they suspect chloroform and ether? Good grief. Case found during the search in 2016 containing photos of young girls, showing even though he was creeping on grandmothers, he was also into kids. So they found 75 youngsters swimming costumes, and he didn't have any kids. 75 swimming costumes. How insane is that? That is so weird. So weird. Children's toys and bikes were found in his lair. And this guy's getting released soon, folks. This is insane. It's proper horror movie stuff. And disturbing images were found on data storage buried under his dead dog. All right, let's go over the timeline then. So May 3rd, 2007, that was the year I got sent back from Arizona, was December 2007. Maddie disappeared from her home in Prada Luz, sparking a massive police search. Let's get, I'll get you this one back up there while I read this. January 15th, 2016, neighbor reports a possible grave at Christian B's abandoned factory in East Germany. Cops find disturbing images on USB sticks and launch a full-scale search. February 16, 2016, Christian B is convicted for essaying a girl of 5 in a park after images found on his laptop. He was sentenced to 15 months behind bars. Oh my God. You got a monster like this and you give him 15 months, but he was already on the run by then. May 3rd, 2017, witness HB calls an information hotline after watching a 10-year anniversary special on the disappearance of Maddie. HB reports an alleged confession by Christian B. On September 27, 2018, on the run Christian B is arrested over outstanding drug claims in Italy. He is extradited to Germany the following year. December 16, 2019, Christian B was convicted in Germany for the 2005 R-word of an American woman in Praia-da-Luz, Portugal, after his DNA was matched to a hair found on her bed. He was sentenced to 7 years behind bars. Repeat offender, still getting slaps on the wrist, ridiculous. June the 4th, 2020, German prosecutors reveal to the world they have a suspect in custody under investigation for the abduction of Maddie. For the first time, they claim she is dead. Now, a lot of the people we were collaborating with back then, there was backlash, especially from Sonia Poulton, who's done a lot of research on this case, and does not believe that Christian B was involved. But it was David Icke who believes she was snatched for a ring. So that's what he told us 6 or 7 years ago. And we're going to get that David Icke, Madeleine McCann section back up in the next day or so. All right, so the German media, it was at that point they named him Christian B, Christian Brueckner. In June 23, 2023, in his first interview, witness HB alleges to German newspaper Bild that Christian B all but confessed the Maddie abduction to him by allegedly saying that she didn't scream as they talked about the case at a music festival in Spain. February 16th, 2024, Christian B goes on trial accused of non-McCann allegations of R-word and SA in Germany. Prosecutors hope for a conviction to keep him behind bars permanently and lead to McCann charges. In October 8th, 2024, Brueckner was acquitted of all charges. Prosecutors launched an appeal, however, decision pending. September 17th, 2025, date on which Christian Brueckner will be released from custody without action being taken. Prosecutors require an arrest warrant for a retrial over claims from last year or over the McCann case. And now that was the timeline up to what we've heard today. And the news story all over the world today is that disturbing hard drive found buried in McCann suspect's abandoned lair contains clues that the 3-year-old is dead. And this is the bombshell cache of horrifying documentation, pictures, swimming costumes, toys, uncovered at the box-making factory he bought in 2008. But the hard drive has got the most disturbing findings, which the police are said to have kept secret, but are reportedly believed to uphold investigators' long-held belief that Madeleine was unalived. And we also showed you the insurance document corroborating the informant's account that Christian B allegedly confessed to a murder in Spain in 2008. So I'm definitely going to be watching the Channel 4 documentary tonight after we've got Kevin Annette on at 9. Let's see what Kazabur has to say in the chat. Why is this the only missing kids that had the amount of cash spent on it? Friends in high places keeping secrets. We see, yes, indeed. It just doesn't make any sense that so many people go missing every year, and you know, this one gets all the money. when it could be far more evenly distributed to find other kids.
I don't know
And
if you commented on this, Sean, but when I was reading the side chat, it's like, when did they find out that he had this factory? It seems like they're making out like they've just discovered all this, and surely this should have all been looked into right when the original accusations against Christian came out. I mean, would that not have made sense?
yeah, so it was January 15th, 2016. Neighbors reported a possible grave at Christian B's abandoned factory in East Germany. And then the cops found disturbing images on USB sticks and launched a full-scale search. So it's these images that is the center of what's making the German cops think Christian did it. But we're not being given the full disclosure of what specifically they've looked at to convince them of that.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what comes out in this documentary, and if everything in this documentary is the opposite of what the new official narrative is on this, and we'll see which narrative gets pushed tomorrow, because it's all the timing of it all is just so odd. So they're saying that they knew about all this almost 10 years ago, and we're just finding out about it now. Is that what they're saying?
What they're saying is that the cops have held these images and not reveal what they've seen that has led them to believe that Maddie is dead. But what the Sun is reporting today, and it's based on the Sun's research, this documentary on Channel 4 tonight, the headline today from the Sun is Unseen Maddie Files, Mystery Hard Drive of Pics found that Maddie suspect Christian B's lure that led cops to conclude missing toddler is dead. So supposedly the Sun investigation being broadcast at 9 p.m. tonight on Channel 4 is revealing the stash found in the German police search. Now, whether they're just clickbaiting the hell out of this to keep us all in suspense as to what they're going to reveal, or whether they're going to reveal something concrete, we're not going to know till 9 p.m. tonight. There's no further information pertaining to it other than 9 p.m. tonight is the time when they're going to go ahead and do this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And again, it just all too cozily wrapped up in a bow now. We've got this documentary, we've got this announcement. Apparently they've had it for years. We're just finding out about it now. It just seems like, because the McCann case has come back into the headlines so recently, I feel like it's almost like taking back control of a narrative for me. And the timing and how long this has been sat there for just stinks. It stinks. It really does.
It does, but we're going to get some guests on close to researching a lot of this tomorrow, and I have the T-Bone podcast is about to go on premiere. So if you've tuned in and you've been with me for 20 plus years, following us back before the YouTube channel on John's Jail Journal when we first documented the story of T-Bone, you're in for a treat, folks. I know many people have been gagging for the T-Bone podcast. It's 3 hours long. It's got the phone call of when I first spoke to him after he's been inside for 31 years. And you can hear how happy he is in his voice. He is a U.S. Marine who was using his skills as a U.S. Marine to stop the R-wording of the young prisoners. He didn't know these young people, and he was risking his life. He almost died multiple times from getting shanked, from getting hit in the head with river rocks in socks. So
Wow.
it's a very brutal story. He's almost 6.5 foot, and his entire body is covered in scars from all these life and death fights he had in prison, protecting young people from the R-worders.
Wow.
So, yeah. So Ron's going to be back next with the online SRA survivor.
That's tonight. That's going to be
6.
a real interesting one.
Then we've got
Yeah,
Lynn's
6.
Warriors, and then we've got Kevin Annette. But I'm going to end this now, folks, because I want everybody to get ready for T-Bone. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see all y'all.